to happen in this game up against a team like TNC.
Yep, and with all that being said, we're going to jump into the draft here for game number 1 in this best of 3, our first match of the triple header Saturday here. TNC will be on the blue here, Falcons over on the red, so the bans pretty much expected. I mean, this is what we've been seeing a lot of for the most part. You know, the Jushins, the Kaleas being taken out, Wan still being banned out. It's funny because even throughout the ISF for this, like Wan had slipped through a little bit, and then there was certain teams that did pick it up. But then even in the case where it's like if Falcons pick it up, you need to be able to provide that Wan an opportunity to get online. Now, eventually, if that happens, the damage is massive. But this is the case with a lot of the gold laners, but it's just weird because right now, if you look at it, it's like gold lane is almost open, with a YSS usually being one of the jungle contentions, right?
Yeah.
Because if you get a YSS, then we do see teams kind of flex like fighters in the gold lane. So I would gold lane is essentially it's open or quote unquote flexible, but it's also narrowed in on specific heroes that work there. That's the Mozkov.
Yeah.
That's the Harith still, you know, the Bruno.
Surprisingly, yesterday though, there has been a different trend in terms of the gold lane hero picks. We haven't seen much priority on the Grangers, on the Mozkovs. We've seen a couple of Lunoxes as well
from
yesterday. So I think that's one thing that can change in terms of the tempo or the flow of the draft. But for the first few picks, it seems that we will be sticking with the typical Lancelot first pick.
Yeah, YSS usual matchup. And fun fact, I believe I heard Midnight earlier on today at our talent launch that YSS on red side hasn't lost a single match. I'm not sure if it's just for week number 2 or for the whole MPL season 16, but that could be a trend that we could see continue later on if Team Falcons, Kyle TZ decides to pick the YSS.
Yeah. They can save it for red 3.
Yeah.
And go for the other power picks that are still available. They pick up here. And alongside the Baksha, narrows down the flex factor you could expect from it.
Yeah. I think they do this because Falcons might also, if the Farsa isn't taken, they'll take the Farsa.
Yeah.
So Glue is here. There's the Farsa. And TNC had to go ahead and take this because if they didn't, Falcons would definitely grab that. The Baksha works great against the Farsa though.
Yeah.
Because you're able to go ahead and just, you know, shield unity and try to stop that feathered airstrike being laid down. So now, do they pick up their mid lane here? This was one of the key Infinix keys to victory. They could go a couple different routes. We've seen a whole lot of Selenas. We've seen a lot of Kaguras.
Yeah, Ken.
Those are some of the options here for Falcons, unless they hold on to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a direct answer to go for either the Selena or the Kagura into the Farsa. Although, if it's few we're talking about, as much as the heroes are gonna be limited because we're heading into the next ban. Okay, so they go for the Selena. And it does help the Guison Shin. And it's not just the Selena that can help. I think even yesterday, Team Liquid Philippines showed us how to utilize a Baksha to speed up the farming for a Fredrin. But this time around, they could work around both the Selena and the Baksha, fast rotations and faster jungling speed. So early game is clearly going to be the goal for Team Falcons, whatever the gold laner is going to be. But TNC, they're going to limit those gold laners who could pretty much stand by themselves as well.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that they have the Selena that can set up traps, provide vision for the side of Team Falcon, so it's not going to be solely an Ogwin job to seek out where TNC is coming from.
All right, so at this 2 for these second phase of the bans, gold lane focus, and of course the roaming options that are left for TNC here. With the Gatakacha and the Hylos gun, what do they want to pick up? They know they're going to deal with the Baksha roam. So what do they here?
There's this Lapu still, although the matchup against Glue wouldn't be that great. Like the Glue could manage the lane pretty well up against the Lapu, but if it's just in terms of how you're able to proceed with the dive, because the composition we see in Team Falcon's first 3 picks look decent in terms of dive. Like there's a Baksha, there's a Selena, there could be the Abyssal Arrows thrown out there, and then if you add the Lapu,
It's gonna be a hard game for Lancy.
Yes, it's gonna be a very hard game for Lancy, and whoever decides to accompany Thrymar as the front line later on. But they've taken out the decent ones in the Katot and the Hylos, and so TNC also will be taking out the Lapu-Lapu and won't allow Flap to get his hands on that either. That leaves...
So many XP lane bans.
Yeah, there's the... Okay, later, they save it for later. So maybe the...
Exorcist of the
Oh my goodness.
Is this a second Grok game?
It is. The first one was from Light yesterday. I actually can't recall if we've seen another one in week 1, but at least in week 2, this is the second Grok game. So for options in the EXP, there's a Hilda, although there's a Grok. What does Flap play into this? Bada is also there.
Almost all the signature Flap heroes are taken out.
Unless he has a surprise for us. If Flap's got a surprise.
This is gonna be tricky for Flap.
Come on, Flap, what do you got?
Unless they put it in the EXP, I think that's something Flap does, like the backshake. Oh my god!
Is this Flap? Is this Flap?
Is this Flap?
Is this Flap?
That's the new Flap, bro. That's the new Flap.
That's the new Flap. The new Flap TZ. I don't know. When was the last time we even saw him on a Benedetta?
We saw.
I saw Edward.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you've seen Edward, but when was the last time you saw Flap TZ play it? I don't know. Bring it up. What do you think of the composition here for Falcons? Is it enough to get ahead against TNC in this first game?
I feel like they can deal a lot of pressure. Even in the lineup rating, we do see that it is favoring Team Falcons, because if you could already picture the way that the Benedetta is just constantly going to manage the waves, going to try to apply a bit of pressure to the jungler and the rotations that TNC will be doing, alongside the Baksha and the Selena, who could also go for the quick rotations by themselves, then this is a game where Team Falcons needs to be absolutely activated in the early stage, because if not, it's gonna be very tricky for them to bounce back and regroup, considering how TNC built a lineup that is, you could say, very balanced in terms of the distribution of the damage and in terms of just how they're able to form or go for the formations when there's a team fight.
Love to see this in the first game. Great compositions, I'd say, on both sides, but ultimately, the early game is going to be crucial for both of them to go ahead and get the start and then play into the gold lanes, Benny Cutie and Super Marco. Expect them to just go 1v1 like they are right now? Oh!
Fortunately for Super Marco, he remains bulletproof and was able to evade a potential gank from Chakno and Benny Cutie.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is something we're so not used to seeing from Super Marco.
Yeah.
He was already forced to use the Purify less than a minute into the game, and even Ogwen had to use the Revitalize just to help him a bit. And now they need to help each other just to manage this lane, which is being heavily controlled by Benny Cutie and Chaknu. So even though we could be expecting all the pressure from Team Falcons, it feels a bit restricted because you need to pay a bit more attention to helping your gold laner.
Yeah, and in that sense too, I guess, you know, Benny Cutie used his flicker, so, but that's the thing. Oh, Lancy. Okay.
Close. Fuse still holding on to Lancy, but there's the defense coming in from Chaknu.
Oh, what I was gonna say. Oh, hold on. Kyle TZ might try to clean up. Oh! They forced him to go that way.
That was a snipe.
That was well timed.
Oh my, Kyle TZ. Right abyssal arrow. And then an arrow from Kyle from the left side to take down and draw the first blood onto Lancy.
Yep, this is exactly what you need to see from Team Falcons. Thrymar will be able to gain some information and Chakno will be there as well, but he's gonna get bursted down!
Just look at Flap TZ already shining with the Benedetta so far, forcing Thrymar, TZ, and the rest of TNC to concede the first turtle.
Okay, they're gonna put pressure here still on this side of the jungle. They probably won't get anything off of this, but they at least want to go ahead and just make TNC think. So it looks like they'll just come together as a team to make sure Zyda gets the buff.
Even the Revitalize was forced out already, and 4 members just ganked up on Master Ogwen to take him down.
Yeah, I was supposed to say they could have probably limited the chances of TNC getting trades because they clearly won in the turtle, and they were almost almost not even allowing TNC to do anything about it. But now TNC, they found their footing. Even Zyda gets to gain some access to the jungle. Oh, wait.
Petrify play was there. Oh! Phew! Oh, Zyda! Couldn't escape the attack from Falcons there.
Okay. Few feels mad.
Yeah.
Like, this is what he needs. An aggressive mid lane that wins out in the matchup. And he's going beyond the matchup. He's being such a huge problem to Zyda right now.
Yeah, one of the things about this Selena, though, is it's great in the early game. And there's a potential for it to fall off towards the, late game. So hopefully they can continue to work this lead. Flap should be able to get out of here fine. Again, this is a Benedetta. You've got a bunch of tools to work with, but he's going to get dragged back.
Now the spread. Plus the ult coming in from Chaknu. Just Flap TZ trying to delay as much as possible. The wall was there, no escape. And Threemar picks up the kill.
Yeah, that was close. He could have used the Cyclone Eye, even the regen, just to try and survive, but there was no other way he could have gotten out of that. Fortunately for Team Falcons, the turtle will be spawning down bottom. They could be the first to get to position themselves, although Kyle TZ, he has a different plan in mind again.
Oh, just like Few. Has a different plan against Lancy. Okay, no more feathered airstrike there.
He got the purple!
And he also got the purple away from Zyda.
Again, they'll put pressure where they can, but now this objective just should be secured. I'm not sure if Zyda really wants to even contest this. It's so low.
They might go for the post objective instead, but Zyda gets stunned down in the Electro final blow. Petrify play from Flap TZ once again. Not looking good for Zyda at the start, and Few is going to be able to walk away with the flicker sidestep to save himself.
Zyda! It's always Zyda who gets the abyssal arrows, who gets the traps from Few. It's so unfortunate. He's already 1-2, and every single time he tries to show up, Few is in the perfect position just to disrupt him of all those possible potential punctures and the threat that he could pose as a Lancelot against Team Falcons.
Guess that's the way you answer it. You answer it with a Selena and a lot of this crowd control right now that Falcons is throwing at him.
Plus the Mountain Shocker. It's not going to connect onto Lancy though, and Chaknu has to create space for TNC here, and both teams will disengage.
Yeah, I know we said it's going to be a hard game for Lancy, but it feels like they don't care. It's a harder game for Zyda, the way we're seeing it right now. Even Kyle TZ brave enough to contest these objectives away from Zyda one-on-one, and I think we're slowly seeing the effect of this constant pressure. Oh, wait!
Super Marco got trapped, but he was able to cast his battle spell. He was able to escape. One more hit, remains bulletproof. Now quick rotation from TNC to try and go for the bottom lane turret, but Team Falcons answers back.
Oh, Marco! He's able to survive with a little bit of health and shielding, utilizing that Zaman Force, but also that the Purify there. So very close, but Falcons also is doing work across the map. They almost got this tier 1 turret. That's what Marco's been working on. You can see he's up on the top for the gold as well. He dealt with a pressure early game, but he's basically got it back here. Now that he's spawned out.
Whistle going to connect again, but fortunately Benecutie was able to back off. Chaknu once again to the rescue to create space against Team Falcons.
Yeah.
Now final turtle already spawned. Let's see if TNC can contest.
Okay.
Yep. Lancy's holding this rush. It will be a great position for the feathered airstrike, but Team Falcons, they don't feel like they're trying to go for the engage just yet. They have limited information, very limited information, and Kyle TV is still trying to secure his purple buff. But I think Flap TZ knows.
Yeah, that turret went down too, so they delayed it to go ahead and get that objective. Now the fight for the last turtle, though.
Whistle Arrow's not going to connect. Flap TZ chasing right after Benecutie with Electro final blow. He still already expended his Petrify, and now Chaknu caught in a crossfire once again. Gonna fall in the hands of Super Marco. Threemar flickers in, hasn't committed the ult yet. It's not gonna mount to anyone just yet. Ogwen's there though, and Zyda jumps in as well, but still Team Falcons holding on. They do have to revitalize. Nobody's taken down for the Falcon side yet, and only Chaknu is gonna fall down.
Oh my goodness, they did their best just to sustain everything. But it took a lot for TNC to be able to get away with very little or no deaths at all. You could see how even that missed timing on the Retribution didn't pose much of a threat towards Team Falcons because they were still able to proceed with the fight nonetheless. They still had their kits complete and they had enough damage to deal with whoever wanted to go for the engage. And fortunately for 3mar, he didn't necessarily go down, but he needs to be extra careful because right now Team Falcons, when Super Marco and Kyle TZ are together, they have more than enough damage to deal with these tanky front lines of TNC.
Yeah, and you can see this too, again, looking at the items. You know, some of the first items are locked in for TNC, but even that last fight, you can see how they're trying to find that right window to fight Falcons. They know they're down a few thousand gold. It's nothing too crazy to work against, but you don't want to be in a position where you continue to go down and give kills and gold over to Falcons before their first Lord comes up. So they have about 30 seconds or so to figure things out. Part of this, though, is, again, we really haven't been able to see Benny in action just because Falcons have done a really good job, and it's been flat for the most time, putting pressure on that back line, on Benny. So he's not a part of those fights. Whereas instead for Super Marco, he's protected well with this kind of lineup that's around him, but then he can also rely on that Zaman Force and the Purify that he has here. So it's a little bit more difficult for Benny, but eventually that Granger will be online.
Yeah, and that's all Benny needs to do for now, because it's not really the kind of gold laner you could expect him to do all those split pushes and side wave management kind of playstyle, because it's a Granger. But TNC are backing on the idea that eventually they can rely on him to provide the damage. And it's also not just that. It's TNC not being able to go for the macro as much as they want to because the rotations are so fast. And here we go.
There's the concealed side. Is going to be the target. Phantom executions there, but he got stunned down by 3 members. Thorn grows and puncture to escape the gank of Team Falcons. So TNC still has their jungler for this Lord take.
Ooh, they wanted to make a play up there, but great job for Zyda to stay alive.
Okay. Still, Team Falcons are the ones in control of the map. They're already at a 4k gold lead, and this one level gap in favor of Kyle TZ has been going on for several minutes now. Looking at the items, hold on, there's a conceal play from Chaknu, but they can only just use the Mounted Shocker to reveal where TNC is.
Ogun spots where TNC is, forcing them to back off, and there's a hard reset on this Lord. No teams have a clear advantage though. Few might get caught in the crossfire, but Flap TZ went for Lancey, forced out the flicker. A lot of resources now have been expended, and still the Lord hasn't been started.
So some battle spells used up here, but ultimately Lord still for the taking. Both teams have positioning, but Benny will go clear that wave out. Again, they don't want to go ahead and lose these holy shields if they can keep them up. And that's the thing too, Benny I don't know if we got a chance to look at the items just yet, but if we can see where Benny is in terms of the build path, because once that Granger is available with maybe 2 or 3 items, or at least the 3 items, and also has the defense with the Wind of Nature most likely, then he should be able to move around a little bit easier. But that's the thing, there's so much pressure from Falcons here to deal with, and right now they're fighting for the Lord.
It's gonna be a rush battle still. Kyle TZ will secure it without the contest from TNC. Zyda was just in the mid lane. And now there's a charge play from Chaknu paired up with the flicker, but it's not going to connect. Now the punish from Team Falcons. 5 Falcons ganked up on Chaknu to bring him down.
Such a great call from Team Falcons to just go and burst down the Lord, knowing that Flap TZ had his eyes on where Zyda was. He was just distracting the jungler of TNC. Another Abyssal Arrow lands, but going back, the dance is so hard for TNC because Team Falcons, they don't really put themselves out there, and they're always waiting for this Mountain Shocker, so they know where to pivot from that point onwards, and that's why they're the ones who are always so confident to start and engage in the fights, because they have full information on where TNC is, and they are mostly reliant on this tectonic charge. But earlier we saw it fail, and now Team Falcons are clearly the ones in an advantage.
Now 3 more, just zoning out the members of Team Falcons. Already committed to spread. They are able to take away the Lord by and saving also all the inhibitor turrets. But then again, another wave is coming from Team Falcons. We have to watch out for Fuse Abyssal Arrow. We have to watch out for Flap TZ's entrance because he does have the Petrify available.
This has been a phenomenal game here for Flap, sitting 3k ahead of 3mar right now too, and this Benedetta doing work, especially in the damage department. And some people might not be used to seeing Flap TZ play the Benedetta too much, but that's what we were talking about leading into the matchup. The XP lane right now is in a great position where these XP laners can pick up these heroes like the Benedetta to provide a little more damage if that's what the lineup needs, or a little more sturdiness, durability like what 3mar did here. Because 3mar, he hasn't been able to do as much farming because his job is to also help protect, heal, keep Benny Cutie alive, while Chaknu is the one going in with that tectonic charge and everything else. So that's why he gets in a position where he might have to take that chance. And this has been the story of Chaknu anyway.
Yeah.
Every single time we watch him play, he's the one that a lot of people look for to start those fights or initiations up.
Yeah. And although he did earlier, the thing is they need to be really calculated about it, because it's so easy for Team Falcons to go and look for the punish. If ever he does land a tectonic charge and they get to do the follow-up through the feathered airstrike, Lancy should be expecting Few or Flap TZ to come in at any given moment. This is also a damage Benedetta we're looking at, by the way. He already has the Blade of Heptas. He's already intact as well, so you could expect a bit more damage. And the fact that he isn't really as aggressive in terms of just looking for pickoffs, but really just trying to serve as the disruptor is what's becoming a headache for TNC, because they can't really position themselves well enough to make full use or to maximize the skills that they have, the resources that they have. And this applies for their ranged heroes specifically. That's both Lancy and Benny Cutie, and that's where majority of the damage comes from.
Yeah, so for Team Falcons, it's just literally they can spam a lot of game-changing skills, a lot of crowd controls from Few, even from Ogun and Flap. But unlike for TNC, it's really a one big ticket ult, the tectonic charge that can come from Chaknu. And it's also really going to be key to have that flicker available so he can make sure to set up TNC for this potential last Lord Dance with a 7.7k lead established by Team Falcons.
So they'll get control right now of the Lord. They might be able to just go ahead and take this unless Zyda can pull some fancy moves off here, but 3mar's given the information, and Falcons, even despite having this kind of lead, will go ahead and just take it slowly. They need Count TZ over here. Keep an eye on Flap, what he decides to do. If he's going to just pressure this lane, either the mid or the off chance he does, because you can see Lancy had to clear out that wave too. So they're taking things slowly, but they got to deal with Flap.
Yeah, and even if they try to look for an engage against the remaining 4 members, then Flap can just come from behind, so they'll be sandwiched in that fight, and they need to be really careful about wherever they position themselves, because even during instances like this where Chaknu just tries to find the perfect position, the placements of the traps are just too good.
Flap.
Mountain Shark already dropped down, gonna connect onto Lancy, immediately obliterated, but Zyda secures the Lord. Super Marco wants to go for the punish. 3mar gonna mount on Kyle TZ over there, but gets surrounded by 3 Falcons. Now Super Marco up against 3. He almost got Zyda, but Benny answers back as well as Kyle TZ. That's gonna be a 2-for-2 trade, and Zyda steals the Lord.
The 2-for-2 trade. I thought that was gonna be all Falcons, but TNC found 2 in it.
Apparently there is gonna be the clutch factor still when it comes to TNC. The attention was so split up. It was a supposedly really great pickoff for Team Falcons because Kyle TZ was able to work on Lancy all by himself. And even after that happened, the Lord wasn't completely reset. So Zyda just tried to change his priorities. He just focused on taking the Lord for themselves because they knew that Falcons had their eyes set on the fight instead, and that was the only instance where we saw Falcons completely let go of what was in front of them. And TNC right now, through this, could potentially take the first few turrets for this game.
Oh, I said it. I was like, if Zyda is able to pull out
and he did
some fancy moves. He did it. And even it looks so good from Falcon's view where it's like, oh, Flap's coming from that back line, but now they're going to try to defend this mid lane turret. They do get things cleared out. Oh, are they going to make a play here? Ogwin was trying to give the charge, but they'll back off. They dealt with the Lord quickly. Again, when you had, what do they have, an 8,000 gold lead, it's been diminished about in half.
It's just
so
one.
They still hold on to well, but hey, TNC does the first thing that needs them to get closer to a victory here, turning it in their favor.
Yeah. Bit by bit, TNC, they'll just have to wait for these openings, these opportunities, and even after what we saw earlier, mind you, Benny Cutie is already complete in terms of his items, and after that kill he got earlier, his Sky Piercer, we already feel her, but oh my gosh!
Electrifiable, petrified play, they're chasing right after Benny Cutie, Ogwin and Kyle TZ, there's the Mountain Shocker, gonna connect onto Benny, gonna shut him down, Flap TZ might be traded down, but Lancy as well will fall in the hands of Kyle TZ. Chaknu is the next to fall, Immortality pop, Kyle TZ with the recalls in Ogwin, Kyle TZ gonna feed off the triple to Kyle himself.
Gets a triple. 3mar should be fine. He's a glue, but his team is not fine as TNC loses 3.
Another Abyssal Arrow is going to connect onto 3mar. 2 are left to defend.
Yep, fortunately, Zaida got to clear the mid wave, but they have a wave coming up top, and they're probably using this to finally crack the base open.
The Mountain Shocker casted down, and 3mar used the spread to be able to clear out the minions. Zaida and 3mar working wonders. They do, however, lose one inhibitor up top.
Okay, Team Falcons, they knew that was a mistake to lose the Lord. They cleared it out. They made a great sandwich play, putting pressure on Benny Cutie. As I was saying, Benny Cutie at this point of the game, he's online, so he's your biggest threat. If you can't catch him, there's going to be a problem there. So they have the tools to do it. They just have to be able to find the right angle here. But this all leads to another Lord standoff. This one, either team could take. Now the one advantage is that one base turret that's down for TNC. Not sure if Falcons wants to play into that, or if they're just going to pressure him off the Lord.
Flapteezy even committed to Petrify onto Lancy. Might be able to take him down because Kyle TC's on the back line. Mountain Shocker is going to connect, but here comes Zaida and Benny to shut down Kyle TC. A killing spree for Zaida as Team Falcons retreat.
Oh, they wanted Lancy. They missed it. Now Oakwood's going to be in trouble too after losing Kyle TZ.
Yeah, they tried their best to take out Lancy, and they nearly did. Kyle TZ came from the perfect angle, but it was just so unfortunate. But now Super Marco, every single member of Falcons still wants to fight!
Lancy Few was able to escape though. Ogun with the revitalize, but still a counter play coming in from Flapteezy to bring down Lancy. Lord still up, but Zaida is there for TNC with the retribution, and he is gonna secure it. Team Falcons trying to scatter away, but Ogun gets caught in the crossfire. Benny Cutie picks up another. Super Marco Zaman Force drop down, as well as Flapteezy, but he's up against 4. Look at the base up top.
Yep, they seem like they don't want TNC to be able to defend,
Marco!
but they failed!
Marco was able to take down one with him, and Zaida to the rescue and defend the top lane. That was a close call for the Phoenix Army.
What is happening?
Oh my goodness, the calls from Team Falcons. It seems like they really just wanted to stick with the fight, even though they did not have their jungler, even though Kyle TZ wasn't there. There were moments where Flapteezy felt like he just wanted to try and still go for the contest, and even after TNC was already able to secure the Lord, the waves that were so great up top, Team Falcons, they might have wanted to try and see if that could be the way to victory.
Oh, they could have, but now they're going to face down this powered up push with this Lord making its way up top, the 20-minute mark here. TNC finally just getting rid of the entire gold lead that Falcons had for the majority of this game. They've clawed back. They've lit the flames, man. I'd say this Battle of the Skies is a great one for game 1 already.
Yeah.
So they'll delay it a little bit further, waiting to get the right timing here for Benny Cutie to join this push into the base of Falcons. Now, can they defend? Again, they should be able to clear out the Lord, but if there's a forced fight from TNC, we'll see how they play it out. Feathered Airstrike already dropped down.
Drop down to zone out the members of Team Falcons. Try to get an inhibitor turret down with them. Base of Team Falcons now been exposed. Shaknu has his flicker. Can come up with a combo to catch Team Falcons off guard, and Flapteezy from the back. He's trying to go for Lancy with the electric final blow. He's able to escape. There's the Earth and Rampart coming in from Shaknu, and still Team Falcons are able to defend with 5 members. Phantom Execution casted down by Zaida. He's going right after a few, and they're able to take all inhibitor turrets down. Zaida still alive. Zaman Force dropped down. Kyle TC fortunately was able to delay the ultimate of Lancy there, so TNC has to back off, but they got the job done.
Oh my goodness, they still want to go for it, but after that successful siege, TNC were the first ones to actually completely expose the base of Team Falcons. It was a great defense we saw from Team Falcons there, trying to pour in all of their resources and backing off once they saw the feathered airstrike already being committed here by Lancy, because the damage that was coming in from this Farsa was already no joke. A single drop of the feathered airstrike was already able to bring Few down to half HP, and that's something that they really need to consider in the upcoming fights. But there's a good seal!
Seal play from TNC, trying to look for a target.
Oh, no.
There's the ult coming in from Chakno as they take down Few immediately. Ogun might be the next to fall. Super Marco goes in to try and save Ogun as Flapteezy just coming into the mix from the bottom lane. TNC has an advantage.
Flap gonna spot it out.
And he's gonna spot out Zaida. Zaida was able to Thorn Rose and Phantom Execution out, so still TNC alive with their jungler.
TNC does it, but does Falcons want to try to steal this away. They're going to be zoned out so much, though. They have to make a play.
Okay, they're trying to make a play, though. Super Marco jumps in, but Zaida will secure the Lord. Lassie drops down to Feather Airstrike. Phantom Execution coming in from Zaida. He might be able to bring down Super Marco. Pure Valorant drops down, and Benny brings the final blow to take down the Bulletproof. Another one to fall for Team Falcons. Kyle Teasy up next, because it's a triple for Benny Cutie. Flap Teasy trying to delay, and it's a full man wipeout for the Phoenix Army.
TNC, they fought back and they stayed true to this composition. Zaida will go ahead and jump on in, but as they go to take the victory for Game 1 against Team Falcons, it's the Battle of the Skies.
In the Battle of the Skies, the first one to draw first blood is TNC.
Waiting for the perfect opportunity, paired with Zaida and all those clutch retribution and objective steals. What a performance we're seeing from the Phoenix Army. I could not believe my eyes. Even that very last sequence we saw in terms of them being able to pick off Few, it was very deceptive. You would have assumed that they were only after Kyle Teasy because the tectonic charge was used towards Kyle Teasy. But all they were really after was isolating Few, who was already in a very awkward position. And you could rely on Benny, you could rely on Zaida and all those other members to just chase them down, and the range that Lancey has just adds up to that problem.
Oh man, I really have to commend Zaida because he was one of the focal reasons why they extended the game. Don't forget when Lysu mentioned that Zaida might be able to take it away. He does. Immediately the First Lord was taken away by Game 1 MVP, Zaida. Very
just great performance here from Zaida. He had to be a little creative, I would say, too, on this Lancelot because of what was Team Falcons lineup able to do in the early game, even the mid game. We saw how much they struggled in some of these objective fights, but still, TNC along the way just kind of held on, and they knew that, okay, at some point, our power spike is going to favor us, and that's what happened. Benny Cutie was taken care of so well, and also, of course, his positioning, because he had to deal with the whole game. Flap, Flap going for him, dodging arrows, staying, basically keeping his head on a swivel to not get caught by something. And that was almost the same case as we got to the late game for Few and Super Marco, because at some point, TNC's lineup just ended up being a little bit too tanky to deal with for Falcons. And that's why I was saying in the beginning of the game, I was like, Selena is great that early mid-game. But late game, you can see where Selena starts to basically fall off, because then it's just a game of, let me throw out an arrow and see what I can do with it. And if you miss it, then there's this window where you're vulnerable.
Yeah, this is why we put so much emphasis on the need for Team Falcons to close out the game fast, because they were able to meet one of their main conditions, which was to activate their lineup in the early stages of the game. And that would not be the same, or that wouldn't be the case if we saw Benny Cutie being activated a bit more early on. But it really took some time for TNC, and some might even argue that it felt as if it wasn't as aggressive of the Phoenix Army for a huge majority of the game. We also saw Chaknu be a bit more reserved in terms of the way he uses the tectonic charge. Some missed attempts even in the first few minutes of the game, which is why they probably tried to play it a bit more carefully in the latter portions. But it was just that one opening that they were all waiting for, because even when Benny Cutie was already able to slowly go online, he was immediately shut down. He got a kill, so the stacks, you could barely feel its presence. But things completely took a different turn when they took down at least one of the disruptors that we see in the lineup of Team Falcons, because you could say that they have two. That's both the Benedetta and that's the Selena of Few. So if they aren't able to completely deal with Flap TZ, then so be it. They probably just let him be, because they don't necessarily think that their base is going to be taken down anyway by just Flap. They still have two inhibitor turrets remaining. So it was probably a switch in terms of who they wanted to go for. It was Few who they set their eyes on, and that completely changed the tides of the game.
Yeah, and in contrast with Team Falcons, it's clear that Flap TC was always going for the flank. That's why late game he also bought the BOD. But the problem was it came to a point where he has to decide which one is he going for. Is he going for Lancy and try to disrupt a feathered airstrike, or will he go for Benny Kitty or Zaida during neutral objectives? So it became a matter of which one am I gonna go for first for Flap TZ.
I feel like at that point, Lancy just kind of accepted his fate to be the bait or to just be the guy who takes the attention of Flap TZ or the other members, and TNC were able to work around that. Like, okay, if it's always Lancy you're after, then we'll just make sure that your attempts would either be unsuccessful or that we get the better of you once you fail and once you try to go for that same sequence or that same pattern again.
Yeah, it's just one of those cases where Team Falcons, like, this composition was basically on a timer. It was on a time limit. Eventually, at some point, it was going to fizzle out and the game plan wasn't going to work. That's why TNC, they did an amazing job at kind of stalling out the game too and choosing their fights on the right fronts and choosing how to manage even what Flap TZ was doing. Because you got to admit, Flap TZ had an amazing game on the Vendetta. He did a lot of work. He also took a lot of damage, and he was able to apply enough pressure. But then it was the way that TNC adjusted it to, like how Brigida mentioned here throughout the game. So again, there was a lot of instances where, like, even Lancy was close to dying, but because of whether it was the flicker or just the wings by wings and him positioning himself properly, he didn't go down. And that is a big thing because a lot is thrown at that back line from Flap even alone to try to get a kill. And if you don't, then you can kind of reverse it towards Team Falcons, and that's what TNC did so well here. So, of course, BPI Rich Guy is going to be Zaida, 881 GPM here. Kyle TZ as the carry. He was doing work on the YSS, but like I said, the two front lines, which was that glue and then, of course, for Chaknu and the Grok, were what allowed TNC to kind of get in a position where then you see Benny Cutie especially shine towards the end, or giving that space to Zaida to make those plays that he did. Because even Zaida's target acquisition was so good in some of those choke points of the jungle, whether it was with the puncture or the Phantom Execution, and the way that he moved even with the Thorn Rose. So great plays here.
And mind you, this is a very commendable BPI Rich Guy buying Zaida, because for a huge majority of the game, he was one level behind Kyle TZ. Because Kyle TZ or the rest of Team Falcons were the ones who were really able to establish themselves in the early game. So it's pretty straightforward, and it's sad to think that you see the lack of, how do I say this? The decision-making seemed to be a bit better for TNC in contrast to Team Falcons, who is the longer team who's been together for this game.
We'll see how they do it. We're going to go ahead and look at our smart ping test for the next match.
Hello, mic test. Mic test, mic test. Suot nyo na yung mic nyo, oy. Walang kausap. Salamat sa mga sumusuporta dyan. Hirap kaya walang kausap. Mic check ako, check mo. Bro. Ikaw dapat yung mic check kumakanta. Dapat yung mga mic check dito yung mga kumakanta. No? So meet me at the door. Muli kitang kikilalanin. Minamahal kong action hero. Wala, hindi ako marunong kumanta, pre. Hindi, nakakatawa yan. Hindi, okay lang, nakakatawa yun. Hindi, tama yan, nakakatawa yan. Talunan sa damuhan. New York na, naging Cubao pa. Los Angeles na, naging Angeles, Pampanga pa. Ayoko na po. Nakasibol dyan. Ayoko na. I got them folded. Guys, buhay nga, guys. Mabuhay ang gulay sa sinabawang esme. There's no way but we're going up. Minumulto na ako ng pagtalon ko. Di mo ba iiwasan yung sibat?
And again, that's our smart ping test for the tournament integrity, of course. But I don't know. I don't know if we should like rename that to the smart singing ping test.
I agree.
Let's sing this. At least we know everyone can sing.
Isn't that a saying? Like if you're a Filipino, you can sing.
You're gonna put that to the test, Naisu.
No, because
you're 50% Filipino.
I'm 50%, so I can
so 50% you can sing.
No, so I can just lean towards my American side and say I can't.
Okay.
let's
you know?
not. Let's not.
Okay.
That's why I can't dance. That's why I never
Dad.
dance.
Okay, Dad.
Yeah, that's why I never dance with you guys.
Okay, Dad.
No,
So-
we
So what Filipino trait did you get nice to?
cooking.
That's a great question. I don't know. I'm
Oh.
friendly. Like Filipinos are very friendly.
Hospitable.
Hospitable.
Okay,
Hospitable.
fine. Okay.
Hospitable.
I have nothing else to say now.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out eventually, you know. But right now, Team Falcons needs to figure it out
Yes.
because they're going to game 2. They should have had game 1, and we need to see the adjustments. But before that, we're gonna figure it out with battle trips because we've also got some visitors here with us in the MPL Philippines Arena.
Maraming salamat sa ating mga casters. Kasama natin ngayon na walang iba kundi ang panibagong batch ng MPL Battle Trips, guys. It's so nice to be here with you today. Pakilala naman kayo para sa ating mga manonood.
So, hello guys. So, I am Jude Clarence Isolapas from PNU, Manila. So, I am 17 years old and I'm turning 18 this September 30. So, I'm happy to meet you all of you. So, yun lang po.
Hello, ako naman si Jamie Himoto. I'm from UP Diliman and here for the battle trips from Community Heroes.
I like it. PNU UP.
That's right. And alam mo, Hans, gusto ko yung sinabi mo yung birthday mo. It's exactly 1 month before your birthday. Advance happy birthday.
Okay, thank you.
Kung meron kang greeting para sa sarili mo, ano yon? Kasi papanoorin mo to 1 month later.
I'm happy for you since nakapunta ka rito unexpectedly. No? Thank you na nagsumikap ka, makaabot ka dito. Ayun lang.
Gusto ko yan, Hans. I like it.
Papanoorin niyo ulit to.
Oo. And Jamie, kumusta naman ang experience niyo so far dito sa MPL Battle Trips?
For me, super saya niya. Especially, kahapon lang din actually yung birthday ko. So parang birthday present din sa akin.
Oh, isang happy birthday naman para kay Jamie.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday!
Jamie!
O ikaw, anong wish mo para sa kanya?
Wish ko lang sa kanya maging masaya siya ngayong araw na ito. Enjoy niya lang.
Ayan, na-pressure.
Parang masaya sila.
Tama. Meron ba?
I like it,
May mga
Hans.
mag-wish pa? May mag-wish?
Wish pa?
Mag-wish?
Parang ikaw may gusto mong sabihin.
Wish. Mag-wish.
Sana po maging mabuti kang tao.
Buti ka ng tao.
Masama ka ba? Hindi naman.
Hindi
All
naman.
goods naman. Pero hindi.
Oo.
Actually, nandito tayo ngayon dahil sa MPL Battle Trips. I'm sure marami kayong nakita, marami kayong natutunan. Jude, I wanna ask more about that. Ano bang naging favorite part mo among all of the other things or yung mga napakinggan nyo from all of the speakers?
Actually, nagustuhan ko yung part na kung saan grabe yung thrill doon sa part na naglo-lord dance, especially sa turtle fights. Sobrang thrill, na ramdam mo yung ano talaga yung clash, yung puso ng mga players sa kung saan gusto nila mananalo. Kahit ano yung mangyayari, basta mananalo at mananalo, ganun na feeling.
Love it.
Yung pagpunta dito, yung favorite niya and watching live ng MPL games. How about you, Jamie? Anong favorite part mo ng Battle Trips? Kasi alam natin, before the broadcast, meron mga talks na kinoconduct with
That's
our
right.
casters. So what's your favorite part?
For me naman, na-enjoy ko yung talk with Boss Jab kasi na-mention niya yung mga career opportunities in esports, especially here in MLBB. Kaya na-enjoy ko yun dahil as someone who wants to pursue something more professional sa esports industry din, very inspiring siya sa akin.
Ano ba yung gusto mong maging?
Gusto ko maging sa professional ML team, maging manager.
Okay, so professional MPL team manager. I like that. Okay, let's say na ngayon nakikinig sa'yo si Boss Jab. Okay, hindi sa nilalagay ko yung pressure sa'yo ngayon, pero nilagay ko na Diba? So, gusto kong malaman, kung ako si Boss Jab, why should I hire you as my next team manager?
Dahil po mapursigi po akong tao, I am very responsible and I try my best with whatever I do. And I am very passionate about the MLBB esports scene.
Oh, Boss Jab, Boss Jab.
Boss Jab.
Boss Jab, ready na? Pasado na? Pasado ka na to.
Gusto ko naman
Magsapatos ka na.
i-test. Jamie, paano pag may pasaway na player?
Oo nga, anong gagawin mo?
Kailangan ma-implement yung rules and regulations ng team sa player para sigurado na magawa yung mga dapat gawin ng team.
Sobrang kalmado niya naman here. Parang kahit ako matatakot ako maging makulit.
O kunwari, final question, si Jude. Anong oras ka gumigising, Jude?
Nako.
Nako, sabi niya na
Ka naman ah!
Ang tagal ko gumigising.
Oh,
Nako.
matagal gumigising. Anong gagawin natin?
Oh.
Importante na may contact kami sa kanya and pag hindi talaga makontak, dapat may emergency person na pwedeng kontakin para gisingin siya.
Gumising ka na, Jude! At dahil dyan, excited kaming malaman paano ba sumali sa ating MPL Battle Trips.
So, abangan niyo po kami. Doon sa social media platform po namin. In Moontoon Student Leaders.
Yan.
And we also have ang mlbblive Community Heroes. You can watch out yung post nila wherein magpapa-quiz or activity and you can join there and get a chance to join the MPL Smart Battle Chiefs.
Wow, may pa-quiz!
Oo nga, may pa-quiz.
Last
Nako.
question. Ano ba
last
ang
question?
favorite era nila dito sa MPL?
Ay, correct. Ano bang favorite nyong moment as an MPL fan? So far, sa lahat ng mga seasons na naganap.
For me po yung this season po talaga kasi sobrang iba po ng meta ngayon. Walang focus sa any na role. Talagang very dynamic po nung meta.
I like it. Jude, do you have anything in mind now?
I mean, I'm not really a watcher sa mga pro scene talaga. I'm just here to enjoy. Pero same with her talaga is that sobrang flexible na mga players ngayon. Sobrang ganda ng playstyle at kaya nakaka-enjoy talaga siya.
Well, we're happy to have you here. We're happy to have you too. And of course, the rest of the members ng MPL Battle Trips. Maraming salamat.
Thank
Sinong
you.
nilalamig dahil hindi nagdala ng jacket? Okay, may nilalamig ba dahil hindi nagdala ng jacket? So para sa lahat ng mga manonood, siguraduhin nyo na magdala kayo ng jacket next time. But that's it for us here at the MPL Battle Trips. Maraming salamat ulit, guys. Let's toss it back to our casters.
Thank you so much, Battle Trips, Hans and Odin there. Man, I wish I had that when I was... They're all in school, right?
Yeah.
I wish... Guys, when I was in school here, on Saturday, I was in like a classroom. Imagine if you could come to Battle Trips. Because, by the way, having Saturday class was already a surprise to me.
Wait, when was this? High school or college?
College. Having PE was a surprise to me.
Why?
Because I like signed up here in college.
You should have loved PE night. Look at you.
Dude, PE was like dance.
Oh,
Okay.
And badminton.
You know, I would have loved that though if I were you.
If we were classmates, yeah. In another time.
But you're my father, sir. So that's weird.
That's a different era, right?
They were talking about eras. We were talking about a different era.
Brigade era. Tongue twisted. Hey, it's okay. Ingan,
Yeah, it's my first
it's
day,
his
guys.
first day back. All right.
And you already casted a 23-minute game.
That's why we had to. So
and I
now
love
the
every
series,
bit of it.
Are you doing? You're doing 2 series today.
We'll see.
What are you mean?
Why are you leaving it in suspense?
I don't want to tell them.
Okay, he's doing. Okay,
we'll see.
I'll leave it to him. But yeah, we got a 23-minute game for game 1, and like I was saying before we went over to the battle trip, it's like I think Falcons has like the general idea. It's weird because guys, I saw this yesterday. Yeah. I was literally casting it with basically Team Falcons, and the same thing happened. Like the Selena started strong, and then it fell off, and then it just seemed like they were, you know, like some of the priorities of the decision making wasn't adding up, which is so weird because again, these guys, they have played together for so long. I think at one point in week 1 we were talking about how the Team Falcons lineup has played for over 1,000 days.
Yes.
Like I think it was 1,117 if I remember right.
Yeah, that's older than me.
That is older than Inga. And definitely is something to, it's a testament to their synergy. So
yeah, and at the same time, we saw a part where they were trying to go for the Lord Dance. They had a clear advantage because the opposite lane, they were able to take down the inhibitor turret. They didn't just play the slow Lord Dance game that Filipinos are used to. So let's see, maybe it's just like me, maybe it's Flap TZ's first time playing in the season, so the jitters might be still there.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was different from today.
Yes.
And there definitely are some expectations to be met because the previous time we saw Team Falcons again was also a loss, and that was against Twisted. I think one of the most surprising outcomes we've ever seen so far all season long, although it's just been 2 weeks, you know. But yeah, even in terms of the draft right now, we're seeing a bit of changes here and there. It seems like the Guison Shin will be finally taken out. Falcons might really want to go for the Lancelot priority here, which is why TNC will they even allow.
Can I just say, I just realized that I think it's the first time Red Side YSS lost.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's a.
Is it the first time?
I'm not sure. I have to double check
if what he heard was right.
With Midnight, if the thing I heard was right. But yeah, so no ISS option right now for TNC, for both Falcons and TNC. So last ban, and they take out the Badang that we were actually expecting Flap TZ to use earlier on, but instead went with the Benedetta.
Yeah, so it's either the Lancelot, but the CC also looks like a great option for Team Falcons. This isn't Ferds, but the CC nonetheless is still a very powerful EXP lane option if they really want to guarantee that matchup in the EXP lane.
Yeah.
But
that's the trade though. It's like that and Lancelot.
But the Lancelot's too hard to let go of. So
but you still have Kyle TZ's Joy, so I think could still be an option, especially since if they get the CC, they pair it up with it. They go with the Lancelot instead.
Okay. So
CC Gatot
can be an option for Neymar. So they go for the Jushin. Oh, the Jushin's open too for TNC. So that's another problem. Like even if Falcons might want to consider all those tanky heroes that can just walk up front, and there's a Jushin. So maybe they. I don't know if they even want to prioritize Super Marco here.
Like right away, get the gold.
Because like I think for the past few games, the trend is always being the gold left for second phase.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. You could maybe pick up your XP here as well. Maybe the roam too.
Yeah, there's the Gatot still available if ever they want to set up at least for a potential Harith later on. They pick up the Uranus.
Okay.
For Flap against. Okay, so I think people are not so convinced anymore about the CC Uranus matchup. I think I even heard Wolf say once that he thinks to some extent the Uranus does a decent laning phase against the CC. But given that they went for these three picks, TNC lock in the Fanny.
That's interesting, man. The Fanny. Coming through for Zyda. We know he likes this hero. I'm not 100% sure right now the current win rate for the Fanny here in the MPL Philippines, but it's interesting because it's still the same thing. It's great to see, but it's such a team effort to make the Fanny work.
Yeah, that's
currently.
true. It's not all individual plays anymore if we see a Fanny. But what makes this so great as well is the fact that even before we head into the second banning phase, they already took out the likes of the Badang, and now they also get to take out the Kalea. So all those potential problems for the Fanny are nearly out for TNC at this point.
Rumors remaining, I think. You could also take out the Hylos. So far,
if we're talking about the remaining roamers, I feel like it's gonna be a problem for Ogwen too because they banned out the Gatot as well. So the options are really being limited.
Could Hilda Ogwen be an option for Team Falcons? Considering that Fanny's on the other side.
Yeah, but I think that can be one. Or although the lack of crowd control, I feel is gonna be a problem as well. They have no decent way to lock down the Fanny and whoever the gold later of TNC might be, because even looking at their lineup right now, majority of their dive and their backline axis is too reliant on Kyle TZ, although they do have range through the Granger. So I feel like they need to balance this out a bit. There is still a Farsa though, but even then, how confident are you playing the Farsa into this lineup?
Is this, I don't know, does Ogren pick up a Kufra or a Cho?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Have we seen a Cho so far in the 2 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Xnova won.
Yep.
For one,
and the Kufra one,
yeah, also did use the Kufra. So maybe they can go for that. And a mid lane option that will be a little more safe. What about the Valentina?
It's got banned out.
Oh, yeah, the Valentina's out too.
Okay. Are you gonna resort to a Kagura?
There's a Navarias also, if it's just about the range. Wait, where? It is a roam Ruby?
Ruby roam.
So they still go for the Farsa. Okay.
Usual matchup for SC between the Jushin and the Farsa, but now Benny QT has the chance to lock in the Moscow up against.
My goodness. This feels like TNC just wanting to end this here.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
No. Like they got a lot of their comfort picks. It's a really great or decent outcome in the draft, being in red side, and it felt like even the Ruby Farsa was not as
Ideal.
convincing or ideal for Team Falcons, but they had no other choice but to go with this or these two picks.
Well, interesting draft, I would say, none the least for Falcons, because I wasn't expecting that either from the end there, those last couple picks, but maybe they can make it work. I think, again, a part of this is just for Team Falcons to put enough pressure on the Fanny.
Yeah.
But you can expect Chaknu to be there, for Zyda, and you got to buy enough time for that Granger to come online, just like we saw previously for Benny QT in the previous game. Well, now it's got to be Super Marco to be able to do that. So, Team Falcons, if they want to get to a Game 3, those are the things that have to happen here. The come in place and put pressure on Zyda. And we'll see if it's going to be a sweep for TNC. Again, this is the Battle of the Skies going at it after a victory for TNC in Game 1. Turning around almost an 8,000 gold deficit. They definitely have the momentum here.
Yep.
Similar to what happened during game number 1, it's all going to boil down to the early game of Team Falcons, because you don't want to go up against a late game Moscow with a Fanny, and so far right now the battle for mid control, we can see the pokes from Lancy and Chaknu are hard hitting so far. It forced Pew to recall right away.
Yep. Looking at the emblems right now, this is the Jushin, which is a bit more tanky.
It's the Prince Jushin.
Yeah, it's the Prince, it's the utility type of Jushin that we'll be seeing. So majority of the damage will be reliant really on Benny QT and even Zyda. Probably a bit more on 3mar as well. I think you could count that, especially if he gets a decent start in the early, which we're seeing right now in the minimap. The way he's just dominating the EXP lane up against Flap TZ. So if he's able to keep this up, TNC won't be worrying too much in terms of that. And things are looking really well for them so far.
Yeah, you can actually expect a lot of rotation that can come from the gold lane for the side of TNC to try and delay the power spike of Super Marco later on. Try to mitigate the power spike that Team Falcons can have in the early to mid game. Considering that, as you mentioned, 3mar having the time of his life with the CC up against Uranus.
The only thing I'm worried about for Falcons here too is if they're not able to go, well, they get a flicker out. Oh, mid.
Now Zyda jumped in onto Oakwood. Has to flicker away to avoid a potential first blood. And a few Lancy continuing with the pokes, and so far, no deaths.
All right. Going back to what I was going to say, what I'm worried about is the pressure that can be put on the map with this lineup from TNC. You got a Moskov and a Fanny. So they can play into split pushes if they want to. And that's what Falcons is also going to want to go ahead and manage. But they start with this first turtle.
And now, tracks the thought to the crossfire once again. Zyda enters, wants to go for the turtle steal, but Kyle TZ will secure it. He was able to cast down the feather airstrike, but Owen might be the first one to fall. Kyle TZ also, and they get traded out. Lancy's life. SOD is going to connect. Here comes Benny QT, but Flap TZ quite a tanky now. Even tacking up the Spear of Misery, trying to save the purple buff that TNC might try to go for. So that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, that was Lancy for Kyle TZ, and it was a perfectly timed curtain call coming in from 3mar, which did not allow Kyle TZ to escape, because he could have escaped through that phantom execution that he used previously, but because he was tied together with Few, he couldn't really run away, and he became the target here for TNC. A great pickoff, I'd say, especially if you're trying to slow down Team Falcons and their early game presence. But speaking of slow down, I feel like, okay, so at least TNC right now are not completely behind, even despite letting go of that turtle.
Yeah, but at the same time, time's clearly ticking for Team Falcons, so they need to force out the play and make a play. Try to go for Benny QT, try to go for a turret at least, and later on secure the neutral objectives. Because again, in terms of late game control, even the macro control, TNC has it all covered with Zyda as the Fanny and Benny as the Moskov.
Yeah, Marco is winning that lane too. You saw he's about a level ahead right now of Benny QT. He's got 600 gold over him too. There's a pull.
Ben play gonna connect, forcing out the ult from Lancy to be able to back off. Now Chaknu caught in the mix once again. Still alive. Zyda tries to enter the picture. Might be able to take down Super Marco. Good play there from Ogun with Don't Run Wolf King. For Super Marco stay alive. Unfortunately, the SOD wasn't on the mark.
Oh, that was close, but... Oh, what?
Phew!
Few found Zaida.
What happened?
And why?
We all don't know,
Okay.
but one thing for sure is Few caught Zaida.
Maybe it's the passive because Zaida was already low. If he was able to land at least one feathered airstrike, Zaida trying to walk away was caught up eventually.
That's
but
the
burn.
That's the intuition of an OG, by the way. An Eros himself.
Yeah, maybe. The fact that Few was played ever since S1, he could basically play
He knows the map. He knows where you are.
ML blind, yeah. He could be like Farsa. No sight.
Exactly. That's why. Okay. But how does TNC try to get back from this? Zaida's still trying to catch up in terms of farm for now, but the control is clear.
Whoa.
What?
Oh, miss combo there for Ogwin. Might get punished by Lancy. There comes the Lanford player. The ultimate as well. Zaida enters the picture. What a wild charge from Shaknu to be able to bring down Few. SOD is going to connect, but still, Benny Cutie will continue to push down bottom, and TNC will also try and secure the turtle.
I'm still surprised Ogwin didn't go down there, but this also gives Benny Cutie an opportunity to get some extra gold. They now get the objective, so there. TNC, they put in some work, and also a little bit of a misstep from Ogwin because he went into that turret.
Yeah.
And so now they're going to look for more here.
Oh, really close call. Wait, Kaltizi nearly gets taken out by 3mar. And TNC, they're just really trying to work with them. Ah! Okay. Okay.
I get the idea. 3mar was literally just baiting out the Thorn Rose for Zaida to enter in, but Zaida said, let's take the slow route.
You guys are the literal representation of the audience out there. Every time they see a cable, they're just like, whoa!
Yeah, but he went for a tri-cable and didn't really push through. But still, it makes you so nervous because TNC right now, it feels like they're just so aggressive in their playstyle, and they have easy ways to get out of danger if ever they wanted to. That's a CC who could just bounce from or through the walls. That's Zaida who could just cable his way out. The Crimson Beacon's also intact for Lancy, unlike earlier on the Farsa, which felt a bit more, restricted in terms of what he wanted to do. But this is still a very close game, I'd say, even if you're looking at Team Falcons.
Yeah, similar to what TNC pulled off earlier on. You're just gonna really wait for Super Marco to gang up on stacks on the Sky Piercer and eventually able to turn things around despite having Benny Cutie and Zaida with the Fanny and the Moscow. But again, Ogwin needs to step up because the CC will only come from the roamer.
Yeah, you could expect one successful setup from Ogwen to really turn into something because we don't see any Purify spells at all from the side of TNC. Oh, but wait, Kaltizi.
Oh, fortunately, Flap TZ. He's literally bulky in-game and out of the game. So no trouble there for Flap TZ.
He's going to be fine. Again, this Uranus still serves the purpose of being that bulwark for the team, and that's why him and Ogwin both have to kind of work in a way together where it's like he's going to be zoning people out, but then Ogwin kind of has to go for that pull combination that we see with the I'm Offended from Rubies. This is the last turtle of the game, though, so they're going to fight for it.
Finally, there's the pull, but 3mar managed to stay alive. Tectonic charge from Shaq was there. Zaida going for the entry. This Flap TZ trying to chase right after 3mar. Benny Cutie having the time of his life, just pushing down bottom. TNC managing to stay alive here as Kyle TZ will secure the turtle. But the trade, bottom lane turret once again, Shaknu will fall down in the hands of Marco.
Yeah.
Okay.
They risked that fight. They went for it because Benny Cutie was going to be able to work on the other parts of the map either way. Oh, SOD!
Oh no, Benny.
Oh, there's a feathered airstrike. SOD manages to escape the trap set by Team Falcons. So that's a good trade for TNC.
I'm pretty sure Ogwin stood there in case he went for the SOD, but he still got away.
Yeah, he still got away. He had the flicker, so, able to cover an extra little bit of ground, but they stop him from taking the orange buff. I guess that's a win there for a little bit, but we take a look at the items here. Brigitte, how's it looking?
Okay, so Super Marco still having a pretty decent time, already locked in his third core item, whereas Benny Cutie still hasn't completed his Trinity yet, which is why we also see him still trying to stick with the farming for now, because that is, again, a signature Benny Cutie item we're talking about. But I'm looking at the positioning for Zaida.
Yeah.
This could be a play.
This could be a play from Owen and the pull! The combo from the master himself! Zaida goes for the flag. SOD is going to connect. And now Zaida manages to get Super Marco. Spear of Misery coming in from Benny Cutie. Going to bring down two. Still going on a Benny Cutie. Calling the crossfire. And Zaida manages to bring down Ogwin. And Flap TZ will fall for 4 Falcons fall down.
We had to take another breath when that cable didn't connect, but TNC won the fight anyway. Zyda joined in at the right time, but they found multiple kills against Team Falcons.
It's not just Zyda who joined in at the right time. It's also Benny Cutie. And how fortunate is it that once he arrived, the members of Team Falcons were just lined up. That single spear of misery connected these 2 players from Team Falcons, and it was very unfortunate because the damage was amplified from the Moskov. So now we see yet another successful team fight, which many might say should have not been the case because the first cable did not connect, and it was a perfect I'm offended supposedly from Ogwen with the damage from Few.
We need a replay, clearly, of what happened, because I don't understand why the 2 members that Ogwen caught
were alive.
Didn't get taken down. Was it I know Lancy was one of them, that's why he was able to Crimson Beacon out and manages to get out safely, but still, that was 4 members of Team Falcons immediately bursted by TNC.
That was a great pull, great setup, but now at this point, this Lord is up. You can see them going in for potential push now on the bottom side, at least put some pressure here. Zyda can just go ahead and join up, but they don't have to force this. You know, TNC doesn't have to force this Lord. Counties will take his purple, and we'll see how they play this out. This is going to be a Lord dance. Chakra does pop the conceal, though.
The conceal
gets revealed.
To gain advantage over the position on the Lord. It's just Flap TZ providing vision and space for Team Falcons as 3 Mars tries to zone him out. Ogwen manages to sight Chaknu where he's hiding from SOD. Got thrown out by Benny Cutie, so they know that no one's there for Team Falcons.
Yeah, they just checked it, and Zyda just cleared it, but now's the real fight!
Okay, Lord, who's gonna get it? It's gonna go on to Kyle TZ, but Zyda wants to go for the post objective. They want to go for the setup from Chaknu with a tectonic charge flicker combo to bring down the Master. That's 1 member down, but Team Falcons, they've secured the Lord.
They got the Lord. They lost only Ogwen, so Team Falcons is going to be fine. They'll go ahead for the reset and get ready to march towards the base of TNC. They need to get the map open for them. Man, it looked close there.
I feel like even in that last moment, Zyda was trying to get the wind of nature out from Super Marco, but he didn't get baited at all. So now Team Falcons, they're suddenly in the lead. They're the ones who are able to pressure TNC bit by bit. Fortunately, Zyda got his purple buff, but this is looking very dangerous for TNC. Their wave clear, it's mostly reliant on Benny Cutie. They really have to do their best to protect their gold leader at this point.
And their strike already dropped down. Here comes the conceal from Team Falcons to try and aid the Lord. Not even the Holy Shields will get popped. TNC manages to clear the Lord immediately. Zyda from the back, Chaknu with the tectonic charge. SOD is going to connect Super Marco. Wind of Nature down. He has to flicker outside. They're chasing right after him, and he's going to bring him down. Lancy on the other hand, caught in the crossfire up against Flap TZ. He's going to be able to take down Benny Cutie. 1-for-1 trade. Both gold laners are gone. It looks like the clash will end here.
Ooh, the gold laners are gone. Both teams doing the same thing, just trying to mirror each other.
Yeah, Super Marco survived a bit longer than we expected him. Again, he still had the Wind of Nature, also the Flicker to try and reposition. But Zyda really chased him down, and he's chasing another one.
Don't run Wolf King, already used up by Ogwen. Might get taken down by Zyda. He stayed for too long trying to wait for Kyle TZ. He enters in with a Phantom Execution. Few with a Feathered Air Strike, but he's gonna get stopped by Lancy and Chaknu. There's a combo. Lancy might get taken down by Flap TZ, but again, Zyda enters in. There's a Lantern Flare onto Flap TZ. One more Cutthroat could do the job. SOD is gonna miss. So no casualties for both teams, but Chaknu might be on the chopping block as Super Marco makes sure to bring him the final kill.
Oh, he's still on the backside though. Benny Cutie, is he gonna approach this? Is he getting the call from TNC to fight for this?
He got his purple.
Got his purple. He's going right after Marco. Zyda though still gets it safely. With a Feathered Airstrike! Takes out Benny Cutie! And now Super Marco once again is gone. Gold laners are now gone again as Kyle TZ trying to work on Lancy. Lantern Flare versus the Blade of Kyle, and Kyle wins.
Oh, 3 Mart. on the run as 3 members of Falcons will chase him down. But man, talk about a game for the gold laners. It's so tough for them right now with this lineup.
Every single member's just trying to make sure that they have information on where the gold laners are. Kyle TZ constantly trying to hunt down Betty Cutie. And on the other side of the map, it's Zaida always trying to hunt down Super Marco. This is why we keep saying that it's so unusual to see the Bulletproof experience this kind of situation or go through this kind of KDA, but you can't blame him. The meta, the way that the assassins are just, or the compositions overall are so dive heavy. Positioning is really such a huge problem for the gold laners right now, but fortunately, I feel like Flap TZ is someone they can really rely on in this game. He's been doing a great job on the Uranus, sometimes even being the one to finish off the kills against TNC.
Yeah, they're actually not that much reliant on the setup coming in from Owain because Flap TZ just continuing to enter in and disrupting the formation that TNC has. He was even able to take down Benny Cutie with one dash in from that Uranus. So now Team Falcons trying to get a hold of this Lord. It's just 3 more in the vision.
Okay, they'll take it. Benny Cutie's going to stay top side, push in that lane. He hasn't been landing the Spirit Destructions that he's needed to, unfortunately, but this looks like...
Here comes Zaida and Kyle TZ secures the Lord, and now TNC going for the counter goal once again as they bring down Kyle. Jack new Tectonic Charge, trying to work on Flap TZ, will be able to escape though. There's the wall. He got trapped. SOD is going to connect. Benny Cutie jumps in and takes down Flap. That's going to be 2 members down for Team Falcons.
Oh, what a decision made by TNC, and now they're able to blitz the turrets that are remaining for Team Falcons, and they might just be even able to quickly take down this Lord that Falcons were able to secure from themselves. What I call, even though the Retribution was not necessarily able to secure the objective, TNC had all their resources intact. They were still able to fight against Team Falcons, and Ogwen, I think at least he still has an immortality. That's one thing they can really bank on for this upcoming defense, but TNC, they're going to be very happy with all these turrets that they were already able to take down.
Yeah, you know, you saw it there before that Lord even broke out. TNC is playing to the favor of, we have split push. We can stay on the opposite end of the map if we want to and push it, whether that's with the Moskov or the Fanny. And playing into that, Team Falcons is almost forced to just hope that they win these fights and play them right, because there's always that chance that TNC goes for an off-lane push that we've seen Benny Cutie do so many times in his professional career. So at this point, it's basically that Lord they got is done for Checkman. Was spotted out. When he pops the conceal, they're gonna fight.
Phantom execution. They're trying to chase right after Zaida. Few has the wings by wings out. Here comes Shakno with a charge. Kyle TZ down. Few next to fall. SOD gonna connect. Benny Cutie wants it all. 3-man down. Make it 4. A double for Benny Cutie. Ogwen still has his immortality. He's doing his best to delay. Immortality pop. Flap TZ is the next, is the last one standing. Because 4 Falcons are now down again.
What a play from the Mamba from Chakdu, and now TNC will push in.
They have 1 minion card. Flap TZ trying to delay, eventually gonna fall down as TNC will win the Battle of the Skies with a sweep.
What a game! The Mamba, the Storm, they've all shown their highlights. The decisions they made throughout the entirety of this series. After just 1 week, after just 2 weeks of seeing them in this season, they are still constantly, continuously on the rise.
That they are. Again, you can see how happy the players here from TNC are, and you know, the opposite of the other side for Team Falcons. It's tough to see because something's not working, and it's not that they're faltering through from the beginning of the game or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, man. Everybody's gotten better. I've already put it out there on the internet that I was like, this is the most competitive season we've had. And I feel like I almost say that almost every season, but darn it, I mean it for season 16.
Someone has to check on the Falcons guy. This is so weird to see.
He's here, by the way. He's here. Redmar's here, by the way, and I just want to say that you saying on the internet sounds like you're so old.
I am old. I am those interwebs. I'll put it on out there, and I'll stand by it, you know? But yeah, one hell of a series for TNC. Congratulations on that sweep. Again, it was that moment where they made something happen, man. And it was yes, it was on Chaknu. Like, there's a reason, and remember, Chaknu got talked about a lot after week 1. So this is great to see him be the cornerstone of a lot of these major team fights from game 1 to game 2, where they were able to win and get the victory because talk about the playmaking on the Grok.
Yeah, and
he's bringing back his era.
That's true. It's not exactly the same Chaknu we know, but it's a Chaknu that offers stability for TNC.
Amazing to see. We're going to be throwing it over to the stage with our hosts Odin, Hans, and TNC.
Phoenix Army, the rise of the Phoenix is now. Everybody, your winners, TNC Pro Team! Finally, nakuha niya na ang una niyong pagkapanalo. Parang swerte yata, no? Pag si Hito nakakatapak ng
Oo
stage.
nga.
I
Ba't
think.
ang ganda naman ng smile mo, Hito? Feel mo ba ikaw ang lucky charm nila today?
Sa tingin ko, sobrang galing lang talaga nila eh. Tapos ang galing ng preparation din ni Coach talaga.
Alam mo, si Hito lang ang nakita kong na-interview na hindi naglaro. Eto, naglaro to.
Ayan,
Na-miss
ayan.
to ng sobrang dami mga tao. Nasaan ang fan si Chaknu? You know, everybody was waiting and looking for you. Nung una, inaalam nila kung saan ka mapupunta ng team. Tapos ngayon, nagsilipatan silang lahat sa TNC nung nandito ka sa TNC. Anong masasabi mo sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa'yo?
And thank you sa mga sumusuporta dyan. Exit shot.
Andun pa rin. Andun pa rin. Hindi nawawala. Odin.
Oo nga eh. And sila ang mga nanatili. And bukod dyan, may bumalik. Coach, hello!
Hello, hello.
Yan. Ang ganda ng ngiti nila ngayon, Coach. Binalik mo yung mga dating miyembro na magkasama. How was the dynamic now na meron sila?
Mas masaya kasi yun nga, matatagal rin kami magkakasama dati. Tas dito pa kami nagkita-kita kaya sobrang excited rin talaga kami na maglaro ulit sa MPL. Yun.
Coach, contrary to dun sa nakita namin nung week 1, yes, nagkaroon ng, happy moments kasi magkakasama kayo ulit. But there were some sort of struggles nung week 1. Paano nyo na-address yun papunta ng week 2 para makuha nyo yung sweep na to?
Ako naniniwala ko na yung week 1 hindi namin nalabas yung talagang laro namin. Siguro lumabas na lang siya sa game 2 nung against namin sa Liquid. Tas yun yung nakuha namin confidence. Kaya tinanggap namin na yung week 1, lang siya, parang medyo marami, kinakapa. Kasi yung stage presence din, tas yun, nung naramdaman na namin lahat, sobrang kumpiyansa na.
Would you say that with the sweep today, nakapa nyo na completely kung paano ang galaw ng team?
Actually, last week pa lang yun doon sa against sa Liquid. Kahit na natalo kami ng 0-2, masaya kaming umuwi kasi naramdam namin na unti-unti na yun lang naman yung goal yung pinapractice namin, malabas namin sa stage and makita kung anong resulta ng tinatrabaho namin, kung nasa tamang ba kami and sobrang happy kami sa results. Yun.
And what a moment coming in from TNC, Odin.
And that's right, Hans. Eto, gusto kong tanungin kasi last week, ang ganda din ng performance nitong player na to. Benny Cutie.
Benny.
Oo, maganda yung resulta ng match nyo ngayon. Pero hindi natin pwedeng kalimutan yung mga pinakita nyo last week. Ano yung nararamdaman mo ngayon na unti-unti na kayo nakakabangon?
Masaya, hindi lang dahil panalo kami kasi ito yung nalalabas na, ito yung mga ginagawa namin sa practice, tapos ngayon na-execute namin. Yun, kaya sobrang happy.
And forward dito sa victory
With this blade, I shall sweep away all evil.
Welcome to Mobile Legends! 5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them! All troops deployed!
Wicked hearts will meet my righteous blade. I am the ordained vanquisher of evil.
First blood. Ally has been slain. Solo kill.
Nowhere to hide. Nowhere to hide.
Union?
Nowhere to hide! Return to the underworld.
Thank you!
Back to the shrine. This world is my home, and I will... Nowhere to hide! Nowhere to hide! Let the blade dance! Nowhere to hide!
You have slain an enemy!
That was but a mere trifle.
Unstable network.
Nowhere to hide! Savor the breeze and moonlight while the moment persists.
Union?
Wander the world, unrestrained and untamed. Nowhere to hide!
Request backup. Okay.
I escaped my duty once. This time, I will see it. Nowhere to hide!
Slaying the turtle.
The petals accompany me.
Yun na yun? An ally has been slain.
Nowhere to hide! Nowhere to hide! I have found something to fight for. I shall say nowhere to hide!
Launch attack! An ally has been slain.
Righteous flame!
An ally has been slain. Enemy double kill.
No! Not yet! Such perfect resonance.
Yun na yun? Unstable network. An enemy has been slain.
Once again, I bask in spring.
Our turret has been destroyed.
Nowhere to hide!
Request backup.
Only I hold the reins of my destiny.
An enemy has been slain.
The little fox has finally found
Your team destroyed the turret. You have slain an enemy.
to the other.
Well played. Killing spree.
The will of my blade is
Yun na
absolute.
yun? Shut down.
Nowhere to hide! Nowhere to hide! Savor the breeze and moonlight while the moment persists. Only I hold the reins of my destiny. Nowhere to hide! The little fox has finally found where he belongs. Nowhere to hide!
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
A drink to the world we cherish. Nowhere to hide! Nowhere to hide!
Destroy the turret. An ally has been slain.
I never. Nowhere to hide! I'll make my mark with this.
An enemy has been slain. Our turret is under attack.
I escaped my duty once. This time, nowhere to hide!
Launch attack!
Nowhere to hide! I shall safeguard her and the world she cherishes. Bane of evil! Wander the world, unrestrained and nowhere to hide! Nowhere to hide!
Launch attack!
Understood.
Righteous blade! I have found something to fight for. Nowhere to hide!
Your team destroyed a turret! Unstable network.
This world is my home, and I will protect it.
Solo kill!
You destroyed a double kill!
Instant kill!
An enemy has been slain!
Massive damage! Iron defense!
Nowhere to hide! That was but a mere trifle.
Your team destroyed a turret!
I escaped my duty once. This time, nowhere to hide! Back to the shrine.
Union? Shut down! An ally has been slain. Unstoppable! Shut down!
Such perfect. Nowhere to hide! The will of my blade is absolute. Nowhere to hide! Bane of evil! Nowhere to hide!
Killing spree!
See what obsession has brought you? The petals accompany me.
Union? An enemy has been slain! An enemy has been slain!
Righteous blade! Nowhere to hide! That was but a mere trifle.
Union? Ally
Back
has
to
been
the
slain.
shrine.
Our turret has been destroyed.
Nowhere to hide!
Stable network. Unstable network. Launch attack!
A drink to the world we cherish and keep nowhere to hide!
Great play!
Once again, I bask in spring.
Our turret is under attack.
The little fox has finally found where he belongs.
Our turret has been destroyed.
Nowhere to
Our
hide!
turret is under attack. Enemy dominated. An ally has been slain. Union?
Nowhere to
You
hide!
have slain an enemy.
See what obsession has brought you? Yeah. Nowhere to hide! Nowhere to hide! Bane of evil!
Enemy killing spree.
Wander the world, unrestrained and untamed.
Request backup.
Understood. Gather at the Lord.
The enemy has slain Lord. An ally has been slain.
Nowhere to hide!
Our turret is under attack. Our
Nowhere to
turret
hide!
has been destroyed. Our inhibitor turret is under attack.
Nowhere to hide!
Our turret has been destroyed.
Well played.
Ally has been
Massive damage.
The
Iron
petals
defense.
accompany me.
Launch attack.
Righteous blade!
Your team destroyed a turret.
Nowhere to hide!
Shut down.
I'll make my mark with this.
Request backup. Our turret is under
Understood.
attack. Our turret has been destroyed.
Nowhere to hide! Yeah. Nowhere to hide! Nowhere to hide! I have found something to fight for. Nowhere to hide!
An enemy has been slain.
This world is my home, and I will protect it.
Enemy godlike.
I am the ordained nowhere to hide! Bane of evil!
An enemy has been slain. Legendary.
Nowhere to hide! Righteous blade! Nowhere to hide!
Shut down.
Such...
You have been slain.
No! Not yet!
Our base is under attack.
Once again, I bask in spring. Only I hold the reins of my destiny. Nowhere to hide!
An ally has been slain. Killing spree! An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
The petals accompany me. A drink! Nowhere to hide! Nowhere to hide!
Enemy has slain more.
Nowhere to hide!
I'm thinking.
I never falter!
An ally has been slain.
See what obsession has brought you? Nowhere to hide! I cast you out! Nowhere to hide!
Our turret is under attack.
Nowhere to hide!
Has been destroyed. Shut down.
Nowhere to hide!
Our inhibitor turret is under attack.
Return
Request
to the
backup.
underworld.
Our turret has
Back
been
to the
destroyed.
shrine.
Our base is under attack.
Nowhere to hide!
Defeat.